Alright guys, welcome back to the homestead, but I wanted to do a quick video on how I fill my outdoor boiler from inside the house here. And you guys are familiar with my boiler if you've watched the channel at all, but it's out there inside the corner of my barn. And got the insulated lines running under the yard there into the house. Hot water supply here up through whichever zone you want to, zone 1, zone 2. You've got the zone valves and a solenoid valve here that opens when these are closed to allow the water to return back to the boiler. But I've got my well water coming into the house here, goes through my water filter and comes over, and it feeds both my hot water heater on the other side of this manifold here, and obviously this feeds the cold water side of the manifold directly. But what I did, I took one of these spares here. This was a spare, both of these, but I fed the boiler to fill from the hot water side, just so you're not feeding with cold water. It can cause condensation issues. Obviously on startup in the spring it wouldn't matter because the water is going to be, or in the fall it wouldn't matter because the water is going to be cold anyway in the boiler. But when the water is hot in the boiler, you don't want a bunch of cold water dumping into it. You can have condensation in the firebox and cause all sorts of premature corrosion and everything like that. Obviously you're not doing this very often. I have to fill mine, top mine off maybe once a month, depending on how on top of it I stay. Usually you can get probably 2 months, no problem. But like I said, I come off the hot water side here and I'm going through a check valve. Obviously check valve is a directional valve that only allows water to flow one way, and that's important because you do not want boiler water feeding in any way into your domestic water supply. That wouldn't be good. You don't want to shower in boiler water. So I would turn this valve on first at the manifold. This is a valve I probably didn't really need, but I threw this ball valve in here, 3/4 inch, and you would turn that on. Feeds all the way across to one of the spare legs on my heating manifold here. This is on the return side, so water, I would open this and water would start filling into the system and back to the boiler. Pretty simple. I've seen a lot of people ask in the forums over the past month or so if anybody is feeding their water from inside the house, and of course yes, you can. Some people think, oh, your well pump isn't going to have enough pressure to overcome the height difference from where your boiler feed enters the house to where your boiler actually resides. But in most cases it absolutely will. And mine's an open system. I'm not sure if yours is a closed system, it's going to be a little bit different. But anyway, that's how I do it. It sure beats pulling the hose across the yard and filling it that way, which I did for a couple years before I finally got around to doing this. So hopefully that helps you guys, and let me know in the comments.